Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. My name's Leith, aka Carnivorous Calisthenics, and today I'm at this nice cute little park in Ferney-Voltaire in France, just on the border of Geneva, Switzerland. Today I'm going to be going through the 3 different types of muscle ups that everyone can do and basically how to achieve every one of them. I think the coolest muscle up skill is when you basically miss the muscle up almost entirely and you can pull all the way to your waist. So I'm going to focus on this exercise. I'm then going to cover the normal muscle up as well as the ring muscle up. So the first thing that's super important before you start the muscle up is you need to make sure you have at least 10 pull-ups. If you can't do 10 pull-ups yet, you can check out my channel for a guide on how to do pull-ups for the first time, and once you get to 10 you can revisit this video or my other muscle up video. But if you can do 10 pull-ups, let's get to it. So the first thing is, how do we actually learn the high pull-up? Because this skill is so awesome. You can basically pull all the way to your waist and you can skip the muscle up. And if we can do that, then the muscle up becomes super easy because, well, we don't even need to dip really, okay? So to train the high pull-up is really simple, but there's a few alterations that you need to make so that you can actually train specifically for this skill. If you just train pull-ups all day, you are not going to get this skill because it's not going to build the right neuromuscular connections to achieve it. The first thing you need to understand when you train this skill is that it's a power movement. It's not a hypertrophy movement, meaning that you're going to be doing low reps for high volume rather than high reps for a lower volume. We actually want to avoid pumping the muscles when training for this exercise, and I'm going to recommend only about 5 reps when you're training it. This is going to build up maximum strength as fast as possible, and later on when you get strong enough, then you can add more volume and more reps. The point is, if we get past 5 reps, we just get too fatigued and too tired, and our form starts to deteriorate when we're training the skill. The first thing that you need to do when you're training the skill is move your wrist position. Now, a normal pull-up is going to be in a neutral wrist position, which doesn't allow you to get your chest over the bar. When we do a high pull-up, we need to move our wrist into a slightly extended position. This is going to allow a slight natural swing, and when we pull, we are able to transition into a dip later. Now, once you have the wrist position correct, and if you try and pull in this position, if you can do 10 pull-ups, you're going to find it probably extremely difficult to get anywhere near past your chest. And that's completely understandable because you just don't have the right neuromuscular connections yet. So to train for this, what we're going to do is you're going to get a band. Now, a band is absolutely necessary when you're learning this exercise, unless you have been training other calisthenic skills like the front lever or heavy weighted pull-ups, because these strength skills can translate into more explosive pull-ups. But if you haven't done these skills yet, you need to be doing with a band. Put a band under at least 1 foot and you're going to pull as hard as you possible in that wrist position. You're going to aim for 5 reps and you're going to do that for 5 sets, 2 to 3 times a week. As you get stronger, you're going to be finding that you're going to be pulling higher and higher, and eventually you will lower the band and attempt it without the band. And my suggestion is that once you've done about 2 to 4 weeks of with the band, you actually come off the band and you'll find that you're already pulling higher, and then you're just going to start training, pulling higher, and eventually you're just going to be able to pull all the way. The most important thing that you do in this exercise is you really pull as hard as you possibly can. If you don't pull as hard as you possibly can, you are not going to build the strength required to be able to do this. So again, pull as hard as you can, use a band, and I promise you, you're going to get there super quickly. Now, the difference between a muscle up and the pull up is really the dip at the top. Getting your chest over the bar is the most difficult thing in a muscle up, and once the chest is over the bar, you're going to be able to push. Now, if you can't do at least 10 dips yet, I really want you to focus on maximizing your front dip. The front dip is the top portion of the muscle up and it's going to give you huge pushing strength while getting there. Now, you actually don't need to train the front dip if you are training skills like handstand push-up, because these skills translate extremely well to a front dip. But if you're not training skills like the handstand push-up, then you need to be training front dips for the muscle up. So with the muscle up, it's the same thing. You're going to pull in that wrist position and you're going to pull in that crescent moon position. This time the chest is going to be coming over the bar rather than just pulling to your waist. So it means it's going to require a little bit more swing and it's going to be a little bit more complexity around the timing. Now, once you can do the high pull-up, you can basically skip the dip almost altogether. So my suggestion is focus on getting that high pull-up as fast as possible because number 1, it looks freaking awesome, and number 2, it's going to cross-credit to so many different exercises. Now, the last thing on this list is the ring muscle up. And in my opinion, the ring muscle up is actually not very difficult. It's probably about the same difficulty, if not easier, than a normal muscle up when it comes to strength. The hardest part about a ring muscle up is the transition. It's going from a false grip position to a pushing position, and a lot of people really struggle with this. So again, Unfortunately, with these rings here at this park, I'm not able to use a band as they're too high. But if you have rings at home, you can use a band and loop it through and really trying to get through that transition point. The other thing you can do is practice doing negatives, for example, on a bar, which is going to help you with your false grip position. You start at the top and go as slow as possible. Again, if that's too hard, you can just focus on hanging with your feet on the ground until you feel comfortable, because this exercise is really, really hard on the wrists. Now, all these muscle up exercises, you can practice at least 2 to 3 times a week, and that's what I would recommend. I'd recommend doing about 3 sets to 5 sets for each exercise, and the exercises are going to depend on your strengths and weaknesses. If you have a weakness in your push, you're going to be focusing on more of doing front dips, where you're trying to do at least 5 reps per set, going as low as possible for around 5 sets. If your weakness is your pull, then you're going to be pulling and doing the high pull-ups with a band at least 2 to 3 times a week, doing 5 sets of 5 reps. Again, once you get to that 2 to 3 week mark, you can attempt again without the band and just keep progressing from there. Eventually, you're going to be able to do the high pull-up and transition this to the muscle up and further on. Now, I suggest after you've done these skills, then you start working on the ring muscle up, because the standard muscle up is going to give you adequate strength to do the ring muscle up. So in my opinion, instead of training the ring muscle up, just focus on getting your false grip position strong, meaning you're practicing doing that negative or a hang while you're doing your normal muscle up exercises. And then when you come to attempt the ring muscle up, it's honestly only going to take you about 2 to 4 weeks to achieve it, because your false grip's going to be there and it's just about getting the technique. And that's when you can add a light band and practice doing the ring muscle up until you can do it without. Thank you guys for tuning into this video today. I hope you enjoyed it. If you like what you see, give me a like, give me a comment, subscribe, let me know what you want to see next. And please check out my other videos. I've got awesome tutorials, especially on how to muscle up as well. Another video on how to do a muscle up from zero, as well as how to do the one arm pull up and other awesome calisthenic skills. So check it out, guys. Again, thank you for tuning in today. I'll see you next time. Peace.